Now we're going to continue on a little bit here and talk about how it is that you got here, why you're here, and what you plan to do with it. Many people out there, like Jeff and I both come from pretty detailed military backgrounds, so we have thank you United States taxpayers, you paid to train us and what we need to do. But a lot of folks out there aren't that. You know, they're a dude. They're a guy who has a regular job. They got a wife. They got kids. They have kids. I'd like an Italian.
Children.
They got kids.
They got children.
They got kids. They got a wife. They got all of that stuff. But they're sitting there and they're thinking, I know I should be doing something. A lot of folks out there, they get that feeling. They're like, in their guts, they're like, I should be doing something. But what?
Where do you start?
Yeah, where do I even start? You know, and then they start talking to the guys at the gun shop. And the guy's like, you need to get a Kimber with hydro shocks and lock it in a finger safe in the second story bedroom, and then now you are prepared. And when the bad guy shows up, you just tell him, you say, Dominus Hydro Shock. You know, it's like Harry Potter, man. You just say Hydro Shock and he melts away. Well, obviously, you can't get all that advice from the guy, you know, pontificating at the counter.
Who's trying to sell you something.
In the gun shop. Yeah, the guy who's trying to sell you a $1,500 handgun. Where do you want to get that information? And that's one of the things that interested me in the Plan2Survive, because not everybody has salient arms budgets, right? Not everybody can afford to take a $500 pistol and turn it into a $2,500 pistol, because I don't know why.
Or even has the money to go out and shoot a whole bunch of ammo and go through, you know, more and more ammo. I mean, 9 mils, what, 20 cents a shot right now? So, you know, right around that. So we go in with a Plan2Survive and go, hey, if you're on a limited budget, here are some alternatives that you can think about where you can keep your skills up and be safe and not end up breaking the bank in the process.
Exactly. And I think many people will say, well, I know I should, and eventually I will. You know, once I have more money, it's like when people say, well, we're not going to have kids yet. We're going to wait until the time is right.
Until it's right.
The time is never going to be right.
It's never right.
It's never going to be right. You know, with getting yourself prepared, if you're like, well, you know, eventually we'll have more disposable income, and eventually, well, the hurricane doesn't care where your current level of income is. The riots in Ferguson, Atlanta, you know, they don't care where you are. It doesn't care. They don't care about your feelings and your person.
That whole Mother Nature and science are cold-hearted.
So wherever you are right now, I don't care. You know, are you gainfully employed? Yes or no? If you're gainfully employed, then you can afford to invest your time, because everyone has time, and your money. And people who say, well, I don't have time, I say, bullshit. You do have time. I could follow your own stopwatch and figure out how much time
they're spending on
waste.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, you waste every day. So I don't want you guys to think, well, yeah, you know, it's cool for you because you can afford to go buy blah, 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 but I can't. No excuse. That's one of the things we did in the Patriot Fire Team book. I did the Patriot Arsenal on a budget. You're like, well, I can't afford a salient arms, you know, Glock and a Chris Costa commemorative signature AR-15. I can't afford that. It's okay. You don't have to have
buy this.
Yeah. Can you afford a Nagant?
Yeah. Because that's way better. Having what's a Mosin Nagant cost? $200?
Not even, like they used to be $99, but let's say $150, $179.
So now all of a sudden you've got something that, it's a bolt action. It's not like an assault rifle, but the Mosin Nagant's been on the battlefield longer than any other rifle on planet Earth, and it's still on the battlefield, by the way. And so, $100 so that you can have a firearm to protect yourself, your family, or put food on the table is. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Oh, and brother, you and I know right now the handguns that are available in 9mm handguns that are really super reliable are everywhere. You don't have to spend $1,000 on a handgun.
No,
Hell, you don't even need to spend $5.
A Glock off the shelf is what, $450?
$459 or whatever,
Yeah,
$479, depending on which model you want to
buy
buy.
a used one from somebody that, you know, some college student that had won the lottery, and you can probably pick one up for about $300.
Yeah.
So, and they're great pistols.
The Canic pistols. There you
go.
Every one of them, except for the X competition model and stuff like that. But the basic ones are all priced below $400.
Yeah.
$399, and they won't quit. And you say, "Oh, I can't even afford $399." Okay, freak, go get a High Point C9 for $179, and I know it only holds 10 rounds in a stick mag, but you know what? It won't quit.
You know, a lot of people make fun of High Points, but I'll tell you what: if you're on a budget, then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's my budget, that's where I can start. And High Points, like you hear all the stuff about people beating them up and stuff. It's not a bad pistol. I mean, it has its issues. But
it's ugly, but it's not going to quit.
It's going to keep moving. It's going to keep firing. You know. So there you go.
You're not going to get cool guy points at the next barbecue or gathering. But
it's less expensive than. I mean, some of the revolvers are $400 or $500. So I mean,
you want to go buy a Smith & Wesson J frame for $599?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, whoa, what is this gold?
Or you go to the Performance Center and spend $1,000 for the 6-shot revolver.
I'll get right on that one.
But all right, not guns. So forget guns. I'm all covered with the guns. I'm good to go. Something that a lot of our people will do.
You may have a ton of guns in your house, but you haven't been to training in the last 10 years. So you're a level 5 on the amount of firearms you have, but you're a level 1 minus on your training. And so it's one of those, there's nothing like a visual representation to make you go, oh,